Welcome to the second class of the final week. We'll get straight into it. Come down into your Dandasana flag position. Turn the toes up, little toes towards the head. Just activate through every bit of musculature that you can in this position. Squeezing the quads, pulling the toes up towards the shins, hands down by the side so you get a bit of wrist flexibility as well at the same time. Again, make sure that you've had a thorough warm up before this. I'm going to take my right leg now, maybe interlink my fingers. We've done this before, just extending through. Or you can go like this, which I'm going to choose to do is cup my hand underneath my heel and I'm going to kick out towards the top. So I'm going to be going up towards the top and drawing back down. Up to the top and back down. Don't have to go all the way. Just work through this dynamic stretch. First pose that we're going to do today is the happy baby pose. So it's a big hip opener. Alright, this is going to get us ready for it. I want you to come to about halfway here. I want you to pull this knee all the way in towards the chest, even a little bit towards the side. Kick out, back in. Kick out, back in. So you start kicking towards the front rather than in towards the sky. Drop that foot back down. Take a little rest there because it does take a bit of a toll on your quads. Left hand comes to the outside of the right foot. Right hand comes down towards the rear and you're going to kick up and you're going to turn around towards the right hand side. Come back down, extend up and round. 2, 3. This right hand's just here to create a little bit of support. Allow you to pivot around towards the right hand side. 4, 5. Trying to keep it straight back at all times. Take the right leg out. You can do it on the left hand side, either interlinking underneath the knee, or you can go cup towards the heel again, extending up and back down. Keep the foot active on the bottom leg. Up and back. Inhale into top, exhaling down with heel. Inhale. We're working through a couple of hip exercises, a couple of shoulder openers, and at the same time it'll work into your spine on one of them. So pull in with the knee, kick out, pull in, now to the side. So you're sort of trying to shunt it down in towards your armpit, this knee. Kick out towards the front, back in, plant the left foot down, left hand comes to the rear, right hand comes up over the top. Kick out, turn through, back down. So you're twisting at the same time as extending. Next bit, we're doing a bit of a rock and roll. Maybe you've got the momentum to bring you into this position, but you also need the calf range as well to bring you up. If you don't, just use this as a little bit of a massage on your back and a core activator as well. Come back down with the left foot onto your back. Big squeeze in with both knees. Big squeeze in. Point the toes there. Keep pulling from that position. We'll be coming back to this in a second. So to create this momentum, you're just rocking on your back. First time you just have it so your feet plant onto the floor. Let's do it a few times. Maybe find your balance, take a little bit more weight over towards the left hand side. Maybe this will happen. You'll come over towards the left, but that's all good. Maybe you'll come up and it'll go like this, over towards the right. Doesn't matter. Just going up and down, shift the weight over to the left for exeter. Back massage, over towards the right. See, I lost my balance there. This next time, see if you can come up. And you're going to come all the way forwards, like so. And I'm literally losing my posture here, but I'm just leaning over my legs and I get a really good stretch through the calves here as well. So I come back, I rock up, plant my feet. I just want you to rock back and forth in this position. If you can't get into this position, what you can do is just bring yourself here, plonk something underneath your heels. Maybe that's enough for you to gain some sort of stretch through the soleus. Up and back. Just do where you're just bringing on, coming up, and then go up from that point. Bring yourself forwards again, right back and forth. There we go. And then onto your back. Now we go into happy baby pose. We've warmed through the hip a fair bit. In fact, we'll do one more. And coming towards the top, we're going to butterfly pose. Open through the adductors slightly. Take the soles of the feet together. Interlink the fingers underneath the feet. And then I want you to just bring the knees up and down between those two positions. Keep going there, don't worry about me, I'm just adjusting my position. Show you the flat back. So keep a neutral spine. Doesn't matter if you are not getting the knees down to the floor. You can see me here, I can't get my knees down to the floor. Back and forth. Back in with the knees. We come into our happy baby pose. So you bring the feet up, soles are parallel to the floor, and you bring in the thighs so they're not together because you're going to be obstructed by your stomach and your chest. You're letting the knees drop out to the side, and then you're grabbing your hands in between the legs. So the arms are in between the legs, but the hands around the outsides. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to pull our thighs and our knees down by our sides. It's a very deep hip stretch. And the way we work the P and F stretch from this is, we pull down, but we kick away at the same time, and then we exhale, and we pull down towards the side. This will be pretty deep, so just remember, not a 100% contraction and not pulling yourself in. Try and just as you exhale, just ease down into the stretch. So, kick away into the hands for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let the knees sink down. And again, kick away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. And again, kick away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 3. You can just walk your hands around if you need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You hold here 30 seconds. So you can breathe into the space, into the stomach. Guide those knees down by the sides. At this point now it'll feel really uncomfortable to be in this position. But you're just staying on the right side of this discomfort. If you're grimacing, you may be going a little bit too far, or you need to try and relax. You're pulling down by the sides. Just a couple more breaths there. Maybe moving a little bit deeper. The hands go loose, feet come down, extend one leg out, pull in the knee and just rotate through in one direction, back round the other. Swap through the legs, big pull in on the right hand side, move round, back through the other way. And on to your front for this next one. Starting Sphinx pose, but we're going to go into our scorpion as a warm-up, so a dynamic warm-up. What you need to ensure, and that's why we're doing the Sphinx pose first, is we're tucking and we're squeezing through the bum, protecting the spine. Extend through, retract the head rather than extending it up in towards the sky. Extend the arms out towards the front. Come back up. And then bring the hands into, I'll try and show you from a different angle here. Arms out towards the sides. I think I'm still in the picture. Yeah, so arms out towards the sides. And what I'm trying to do from here, obviously I've got the walls a little bit of an obstruction, but my right leg should be straight. But what I'm doing is I'm coming over the top with my left. Come back towards the centre, come over the top with my right. Yeah, so arms are out towards the sides. I'll show you from this side as well. Come over the top, make sure you're squeezing and tucking like I told you before. Shoulders are pressed in towards the ground. Come back towards the centre, swap through. Opposite leg, opposite arm. Only work into your own range of movement. Back and forth. Got a nice obstruction of the wall here, but to be honest with you, you can create a decent stretch and slide through and use it as a prop for a passive stretch. Back towards the central point. Lift up into your sphinx pose. Hands underneath the shoulders. And push up however you want it. Going to go onto your knees, go on your knees. Into down facing dog. Push into the ground with both hands, right foot into the sky. Right foot comes all the way over towards the right hand side. And we drop down the right hip onto the floor. This is a paired up stretch now, because we're working through. To be honest with you, you can't do it and you feel like you're losing the emphasis through the hip, then stick to the hip stretch rather than trying to work through the shoulder as well. It's a pretty intense stretch if you're doing it properly, and it's quite complicated if we're doing it as a P and F stretch. Basically, we open out through the side of the hip. So I'm kicking my leg into the floor in that direction as I come over the top. And every time I exhale, I'm trying to roll my hips over, and that's going to create a bigger stretch down the outside, the right hand side of my hip. What you can do is you can bring this left arm underneath, and you can push in through that leg, but at the same time, you can also try and push in with the back of your left hand underneath. Then as you exhale, you release off, you push the hip over the top, but at the same time you reach through towards that left hand side. And they can actually end up helping each other with this stretch. So find that position, don't worry, I've got this 90-degree angle. I'm finding it pretty difficult here as well. Turn the hips over, you'll create that stretch already. Take the arm underneath. If not, just come into this position, push and you kick away, and then you're trying to bring the hip over the top. Yeah, so you're squeezing over the top here. I'm going to go with the arm underneath. So I'm going to kick away for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring my hip over a little bit more. Kick in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sink over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over the top. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over the top and just stay there. I'm just going to try and edge myself through a little bit more. Keeping this leg straight. Feel the outer hip open up especially. And this is a great thoracic rotation movement as well. Just 30 seconds here. Same detail as the first class that we did. Back up towards the top. Go into your back for 1 second. Let the knees do a counter stretch. Go wherever you feel like you need to go. Your knees out towards the sides. Feels nice going out square that I've just been. When I edge this mat a little bit further, so you can get a different view for this the opposite side. I'm coming into my down facing dog. And bring my left foot up, cross it underneath, then lay my left hip onto the floor. And actually, just by doing this, if you can see here, I've actually got my foot pinned against the wall. So you find these things when you're even taking some of the classes, but it just grounds that foot into place, to be honest with you. So rather than letting the knee bend away, you can get more out of the stretch here. I'm going to create that same position, always trying to pull this hip over the top, other arm comes underneath, so you can see what the hand's doing this side now. I'm going to kick away and push away with this hand. 5, 4, under, inhale, 2, 1. Through, kick away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more, kick away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 more, kick away, 1, 2, push this hand on the floor as well, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Stay here. Just bring this hand to wherever you feel it may help. You might like it over here, so you're sort of pushing away and allowing yourself to rotate a little bit more. But you're not going into too far a position that you feel musculature start to contract to stop you going too deep. You need to always be conscious of staying on this side that you're able to allow the body to relax in. And that's going to vary from person to person as well. Couple more breaths. Raise back to the top. You should feel it coming out of that stretch. I certainly do. Rocking over from left towards the right. Warm up into a couple of straddle postures, and then we go into a duck to stretch. If you want to do this rock and roll a couple of times, then crack on with that. Come into a standing position, forward fold. Take a few moments there, hands come together. Just rise up towards standing Pranayama. Left foot's going to come up, and then we hinge through and step towards the rear. Turn both feet towards the left hand side of the mat, heels directly behind the toes. And we're going to do a few different dynamic positions. First one is sliding the hands down towards the ankles, forward folding, come back up. Just do that 3 times, so 2, back up, 3, back up. Interlink the fingers behind the back, keep the palms away from each other, come up, 1, up with the hands and up with the head, 2, and then 3. Now you can take your hands down if you want to, and you can just go light through the elbows, let the body drop, push away, 1. If you want to have 2 blocks there, then feel free to do that, 2 and 3. Now sit down onto one of the heels. You can have the toes tucked for this, or you can have it where the foot's flat. You also don't have to sit back onto your hunches, and you'll know what I mean when we go into the stretch. You can keep your body weight forward, especially if you've got knee issues. You have to find a stretch that feels comfortable for you. For me, I feel better sitting back actually onto my heel when I do this and just having the leg out towards the side. But what I want you to think about here, see how I've got my hands positioned either side of this front thigh? So you can go here, you can go tuck toe underneath, or you can come forwards like this. And it's all about where you're pulling your hips into the space to create the biggest stretch through the inside of the groin. I'm going to stick onto the front of the foot, and what I'll be basically doing here is I'll be pulling my heel in towards the floor, holding for 6 seconds, and then as I exhale, I'm going to actually shuffle my body round towards the toes as a unit. But I'm not just bringing my head down. See how I can do that? That's not even me on stretch, but if I move my body with a flat back and I'm tilting my pelvis forwards, then you're going to hit the inside of the groin. So find that stretch. Firstly, pull yourself around until you get into a bit of maybe a 70-80% stretch. So you're backing off of it a little bit. And then kick the heel into the floor. Turn the toes up. 3, 2, 1. Kick into the floor. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. So that's getting deeper now. Kick in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. One more. Kick in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. And we're just going to stay here. I can actually have it accessible for me now to bring both my hands around to the inside and this gap between the foot and the knee. And you're trying to tilt this pelvis forwards and sort of move your body round towards the right hand side. And a little bit of a lateral shift of the pelvis as well at the same time. Sticking with that 30-second hold. If this is really tight, maybe stay longer if you can handle it and it feels comfortable for you. Or uncomfortable but comfortable enough to actually stay in it for a longer period of time. More, a long breath. Walk the hands forwards. Give the leg a kick out. Turn it through a couple of times. And then come down onto the front of the right knee, onto the foot. Tuck the toes or hands forward so you've got the hips over this knee. You might get a paired up stretch of a quad stretch at the same time as working through the inner groin. Just depends on where you tight. Now, hands either side of this front leg, tilt the pelvis forwards, chest long, turn the toe up, kick into the floor with the heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now stay down and not use the breath. I'm going to show you the position and the difference when you've got the toes tucked and also when you're in that high kneeling position. I'm having my toes tucked and I'm just pushing my bum away. You should feel that. It's very specific in terms of where you feel it. And you're always there's always a slight micro bend in that knee. You're never locking it out fully. So that's me with my toes tucked. Hands forwards. All I'm doing is I'm tilting my pelvis that way and drawing my body round the opposite way. But I feel better sitting back here, so I'm going to go back. And bring these hands round towards the left. Just take 2 more long breaths. Walk back round. Just kick out with this opposite leg. Last stretch we've got, we're going to take it towards the wall, but before we go there, we'll warm up for our downward dog, because it's a variation of the downward dog. It's actually a wall downward dog, and it'll become apparent in a second. So bring yourself into your downward dog, and I want you to create this dynamic stretch where you're pushing in the floor and sinking your chest for 1, 2, exhale, 3, 4, 5. Bring the body forwards into this plank position. Back in the downward dog. 1, 2. Use the breath. Exhale. 3. You're trying to sink through the chest rather than heels towards the floor, but you can do that if you can manage it. 5. We'll sit back there, and then we'll take it to the wall for this last stretch. This is really similar to one of the stretches that we've done earlier in the Rangefinder program. You probably remember this one. What we're going to do for this is we're going to bring our hands down a little bit further and really target through the shoulders and move away from trying to get this thoracic extension. Last time we did this, you're actually able to, well, it just depends, but for me, I can get my chest onto the wall, and it doesn't open up my shoulders, it opens up more through my thoracic spine. But if I bring my hands down directly in front of the shoulders, feet directly underneath the hips, what I do from here is I sink down like so. I'm kicking my bum out towards the rear. It's like a standing downward dog. I'm sinking through the shoulders. What's important here is that I'm activating and wrapping underneath. See this subtle activation? I'm not going between the two, but I'm just staying here activated, and I'm pulling my hands into the wall for this contraction. I won't move too far here because I'm pretty mobile through my shoulders, so I don't want to increase too much more length. But I'm pulling in with my hands, and I'm leaning my weight in towards the wall. 3, 2, 1, exhale. Sink the chest, let it go. Pull in with the hands. I'll show you for 1 sink here just to show you. 2, 1. And look at me pushing my bum up towards the sky here as well at the same time. Pull in with the hands. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull in with the hands. 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll stay here. We'll stay here, wrap underneath of the triceps. Keep the lats engaged. And also these external rotators. As you're externally rotating through. With this upper arm rotating it outwards. Biceps are going outwards, triceps are going underneath. And keep sinking through the chest to the floor. Stay with this last stretch now. Let gravity pull you down. Don't let the hands move. Just drop through the chest. One more long breath. And the knees, slowly move out of the stretch. And there is our second session done. You have a day off tomorrow, and then we're back to it the day after that.